Hello everybody, and welcome back to Rain Check. After the presentation, we left Rao, and what would we do? We started exploring around, right? Ended up in the casino and got attacked by a cat doll. And we're figuring out how all that's going, right? We get the polar bears back. We met back up with Rao. We're figuring things out. It's a little weird. Kind of. I did not expect this to happen. I thought this was gonna be pretty chill presentation, like convention stuff for a bit. I still don't actually know what the plot of this game is, so we're just going. As the security guard puts up a closed sign in front of the lounge, where we had been standing earlier, we relocate to the bar seats on the far side. I've never been great at handling confrontations, and this is no exception.
Here's the deal. Emergency medical services has been called. They'll be on their way shortly. In the meantime, why don't you explain what happened?
Well, okay. I spend the next few minutes explaining the whole story. How I was minding my own business here until I was approached by that man. How he asked me for money and how he suddenly lunged at me with full force, trying to attack me. I also recount that I had lost balance and fell when the cat grabbed my tail. Finally, I explain how I kicked him off of me when I was down on the ground. No, excuse me. I finished my recount and look at them to affirm, but neither of them look particularly surprised. It's like they already expected this. Kristoff's the first one to break the silence.
Do you know who this person is? No, right?
No, not at all. I've never seen them before in my life.
Okay.
Christopher reaches for his radio and speaks into it, keeping his eyes on the cat the whole time.
Are the EMS? Okay, here yet?
They'll be here in 5 minutes.
Good. How about the police?
Christophers side-eyes me at the mention of the police.
We got a gentleman here that'll most likely need to be sent for questioning.
They are on standby. I'll call them now, though. Immediately, I notice Rao's expression changed to somewhat of a worried state, an expression I haven't seen until now. The polar bear then fixes his gaze on me.
Sir, can I get your name?
Theodore? The security guard nods.
The paramedics will be arriving shortly, so if you're injured, we can have you tag along. If not, then you'll be sent to the police station for questioning first.
Excuse me.
I doubt you'll be in any trouble, though. Now, following standard protocol, I have to ask, are you injured?
The thought of being carried away in an ambulance or police car doesn't seem like the highlight I'd want on my vacation. It doesn't look like I have much of a choice. Now that he mentions it, the scratches I got earlier on my tail are starting to sting. I can't help but wince in pain.
Well, he's fine.
He's answering for us today, I guess. That's fine. Is he up to something? What's he trying to do?
And who is this man, anyways? He showed up after I got here. You know him or something?
Rao stares at me and starts mouthing something to me, all while he motions his paw to me, just out of view of Christopher to notice. My brow furrows as I struggle to understand what he's trying to say. What? There's a slight panic in the wolf's face as the security guard notices my dazed expression and turns to face him. Ross steps forward and places a large paw firmly on my shoulder.
We've been through a lot. Let me handle this.
He gives me a small pat before trying to face Christopher.
What the hell's going on?
The wolf steps in front of me, acting as divide between the security guard and me.
He won't be going anywhere. Just who are you? I'm his friend.
We're friends now? I mean, yes?
Listen, under normal protocol, we need both parties involved handed off to police for questioning. Ambulance too, if he's injured. Understand? Shouldn't you be more concerned about our little addict friend over there? Don't you see the scars on his paws? How about the bandages on his tail?
We all turn to check out the cat. With the scars, the bandages present, like Rao had mentioned. Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw those earlier as well.
Clearly, a skeleton user.
Oh? Skeleton? I don't think I've heard of that drug before.
Wouldn't be good for business if people found out addicts were roaming around the hotel, attacking patrons. Just like the last 2 times.
What does he mean last 2 times?
You understand what I'm saying, right, Christopher?
Rao's voice is slow and melancholic. Yes? No, methodical. Not melancholic. We're doing things today. Methodical. Is he threatening the security guard somehow?
Where are you getting at?
Or what are you getting at? Sorry.
What the hell and how the hell would you know that?
The security guard raises his voice, sounding much more accusatory towards Rao.
Doesn't matter. You know what does matter.
Rao looks at me before continuing.
That several people were hospitalized because of what happened.
What? Really? I didn't hear anything about that.
Of course not. The hotel did everything it could to cover up the incident. Not well enough, sadly. I'm sure Christopher knows all about it.
So, there's been a huge cover-up all this time? This seems bigger than I thought. Maybe it'd be best if I stay out of this as much as possible. Wait, what is it? What does he know? Rao completely disregards my question and motions a gesture towards me.
You'll want to dodge stations anyway. It'd be a miracle if you get through questioning in any less than a few hours. Probably take until tomorrow with a scandal like this.
He shrugs at me with a toothy grin.
Here's how I see it. You go, it'll get covered up. You're wasting your time.
I guess you're right. Rao gives me a witful smirk as he glances back to the polar bear.
He's not going. That's final.
Rao's commanding tone resonates through the air, leaving the security guard feeling shaken and unsure of how to proceed. There is a look of anger and contempt coming from the polar bear's face. Ultimately, he lets out a sigh and frowns. He pulls up a bar stool and sits down, avoiding any eye contact for us as he speaks in the radio.
Let the police know it was a false alarm. Paramedics are good enough.
His voice sounds defeated and with a hint of bitterness to it. Okay, the paramedics have just arrived. They'll be up shortly. None of us move. None of us say anything.
Just go.
The wolf that was just towering in front of me suddenly turns around and gives me a nod.
Let's go.
He motions me to follow him as he quickly marches off. What the hell just happened? I need answers from him. Rao walks to an isolated part of the casino where the only things in sight are rows of unoccupied slot machines. His tall stature is striking compared to the surroundings as he scouts around the area.
Before you say anything, we need to get your tail treated. Follow me, and I'll explain everything. I promise.
What? Can't you do it here? Isn't that why we walked here? And wait a second, how do you know about my tail? And furthermore, how did you know I was attacked earlier? What's going on?
Hold on, and slow down. I'm looking for the open bar.
What? This isn't the time to be drinking. Rao turns to me. His sudden, serious gaze silences me. I guess I'm left with no alternative. I'll have to cooperate for now if I want to find out what the hell is happening.
Over there. Let's go.
Wait! And just like that, he disappears from my sight. There are several drink names I don't recognize on the bar counter. The wolf operates the tap and fills a plastic cup halfway with a transparent amber liquid. How can someone be in the mood to drink at a time like this? Without hesitation, he snatches up a bunch of napkins from a nearby pile. He swiftly turns around and hands me the drink, surprising me.
Hold this.
Huh? I don't drink. Rouse sets the cup back down at the counter when I fail to take the cup. It's only when he starts to dip the napkin into the cup that I realize what he's doing.
Turn around.
I do as I am instructed, preparing myself for the pain. He kneels down and brushes aside my fur on my tail, causing me to grimace from the sudden pain. I just realize how embarrassing this is. It's not a good thing he can't see how It's a good thing he can't see how flustered my face is right now. Rao applies the alcohol-soaked napkin to the scratches on my tail, gently holding it in place with his big, sturdy paw. I wince from the sudden sting, my tail recoiling from the sharp pain, but he easily holds it in place. How does it look?
Just surface-level scratches. Lucky you.
The wolf places several unfolded napkins over my scratches, wrapping them carefully and securing them with a firm knot.
There.
As Rouse stands back up, I pivot back to face him, while quickly checking on my tail. The makeshift bandages look surprisingly sturdy.
You wanted answers, right?
Yes. What the hell is going on?
Not here.
Then where?
My room, North Block.
Oh, already going to his room? 10 out of 10. Something's off. Why does he want me to come to his room? There's an awkward pause as I try to think of what to say. Why your room?
What does that mean?
This is getting too weird. Maybe I should back out now. But how do I do it without being too obvious? Oh, here, let me turn up the game volume just a smidge. My eyes dart to the exit and then back to Rao, unsure of what to do. After a long pause, Rao speaks up slowly.
Sorry. I know we've, had pretty lighthearted interactions so far.
I guess Rao caught on to what I was thinking. To be fair, I've been told I have a terrible poker face.
So if you're uncomfortable coming to my room...
The wolf looks around and spots something off in the distance that catches his attention.
I can explain it to you in, the bathroom.
His tone is a lot more gentler than it was a minute ago. Why did his behavior change all of a sudden?
A place with privacy.
Why does he need privacy? I'm still unsure why he can't tell me here. There's virtually no one around the bar here. Well, okay then. Let's go to the room. I want to go to his room. I trust this pauper. If he wanted to do me harm, he could have done something already. Not only that, but my wallet is untouched. Our interactions after that have only been serendipitous? Following the logic, whatever he's going to tell me must really be important to him to request a private place. Now that I think about it, why did Rouse stop me from giving a statement to the police? It's not like he works for the hotel, so... Though my gut is telling me this is a bad idea, my brain says this makes the most sense. Okay, let's go to your room. But you better tell me everything. I still have no clue what the hell is going on. That's a look of relief. Oh, there's a look of relief on his face.
Perfect. Follow me then.
In silence, we descend to the 10th floor via the elevator, cross a sky bridge to the northern building. Reaching the 35th floor, I noticed its striking resemblance to mine. Rao quickening steps hold my attention as I try to discern his intention. In light of recent events, I feel a need for heightened caution. Since departing the casino, his silence has been broken only by occasional, searching glances. Suddenly, Rao halts and pivots towards me, his blank expression pulling me from my thoughts and leaving me guessing.
We're here.
My eyes instinctively dart over to the door in front of us. 3510. Right. He fumbles in the back in his back pocket, pulling out a key card that seems minuscule in his paw. After a swift tap of the card reader, Rao surveys the hall before pushing the now unlocked door open.
Quickly.
Rushing to keep the door from shutting, I quicken my steps as the wolf enters the room ahead of me. Rao already near his bed by the time I make my way in, a vague scent of bleach grows more prominent as I venture further. Bleach? Was there a murder? Or does he just take cleaning that seriously? Let's go with that one. This is a nice hotel room as well. The room seems smaller and less adorned than mine, making me wonder if this is a common feature of the North Tower's rooms. I don't spot any suitcases, but rather see a couple of briefcases lie by the desk, accompanied by neatly stacked folders next to a laptop. My attention returns to Rao, who's now taking off his jacket as if it looked painful to wear and tossed it onto the bed. Oh. Kind of wish he was wearing a tank top. He'd look good in one. His attention goes back from the jacket to me.
Anyway.
His voice trails off. The silence that follows hangs heavy with tension, like a thick fog settling in the room.
Let me explain.
I nod back slowly, bracing myself for whatever crazy story I'm about to hear. He approaches the desk behind him, gingerly extracts a newspaper clipping nestled between two folders, and passes it to me. Oh. City Harbor and Gulf lone survivor emerges amidst vanishing crow? Crow? It's the H key, right? Crew, sorry. Emerges amidst vanishing crew. Okay, look, it's... Some things are hard to read, okay? It's fine. Accepting the paper, I instantly notice the numerous markings and circles on it. The specifics of the writing are unclear, but the headline is distinct, grabbing my attention. City and harbor engulfed. Lone survivor emerges amidst vanishing crew. I shift my focus to study the rest of the clipping, particularly drawn to the date of publication. Wait, this has happened over 2 years ago? I think I still remember reading something about this, but I can't be sure. I put the paper down and stare back at Rao expectantly.
Like the paper says, there was a chemical fire by the harbor a couple of years ago. I'm here to investigate that as well as other things related to it.
I see.
And you're doing this all by yourself?
He pulls something out of his pocket as he sits down on the bed. It's a small black business card that's even smaller than the key card he was holding earlier.
Here. This is my employer.
Accepting the card, I scrutinize it under Rao's watchful gaze. The phrase analytical research and confidentiality dominates the card in bold silver letters. I got there, probably. Flipping it over, I find only a lone phone number printed in the corner against the stark black background.
I work at the ARC, a firm involved in a mix of investigative and intelligence work, among other things.
Okay. So, you're some kind of detective?
Private investigator.
The revelation that his work is less sinister than I imagined brings a sigh of relief and a measure of relaxation. There it is. So, why this case then?
I'm not at liberty to share the specifics. I'm simply here to gather information.
Right. Well, then I guess this is starting to make a bit more sense.
Anyway, glad I ran into you up there. Your little stunt almost blew my cover.
What do you mean? I still don't understand why you did that. Why'd you cover for me back there? The wolf smirks and repositions himself, leaning back on the bed with his arms supporting him.
You fucked up that cat. Plain and simple.
I suddenly feel embarrassed and my face heats up as his blunt remark.
There's no way you would have avoided a trip to the station. Particularly with that hard-ass bear leading the charge.
There's some venom in the way he said that. I guess, but how did you know I was attacked? Did you see it happen?
Actually, no, I didn't. Call it an educated guess. Oh my god. An educated guess. I noticed that cat prowling around the casino earlier. He moved towards my poker table, then veered away unexpectedly. Plus, I don't like the way he's looking at me.
I didn't like the way he looked at me.
You don't look like the violent type. You're soft.
Rouse stops mid-sentence with a cheeky smirk.
Sophisticated.
I shoot Rao a disapproving glare, but he's too busy chuckling at his own joke to notice. Hey, this isn't funny, you know. I was just attacked. I gesture towards the hastily made bandage around my tail, grimacing as I attempt to move it. He stares at my injury, his smirk gradually dissipating into a more stern look.
I know, but you're fine, aren't you? I've seen plenty of guys your size, and I don't think any of them would have lost to someone like that. And what'd you do earlier? Punch him in the gut.
My eyes shift to Rao to the floor. No, I was pinned down, so I kicked him off me. Rao nods at me, as if he had anticipated that very answer.
Not bad.
No, it is. I thought I almost killed someone. I'm sure that was supposed to be no, it isn't. That's what I'm guessing. He scoffs at me, shaking his head.
You can't kill someone with just a kick to the chest.
You probably can, depending, you know. I'm sure what he said is true, but I ignore it and press on with my questioning. Fine, but why does this matter to you, though? Why did you cover for me back there?
It does, and it doesn't. Look, I know you're smart. The police are here, and not your friend. You only go to them with minor, petty crimes, not assaults.
My attention sharpens on him as I strive to comprehend the full implication of his words. I see, and why's that?
Listen. I'm sure you remember the numerous instances of power abuse, corruption, and bribery over the past few years. Remember the Castleton incident last year? The rumor about the mayor hiring a hitman to kill his wife.
Wait, what, really? That sounds like something that would have made headlines. I don't think I've ever heard anything like that before.
Figures. It got hushed up pretty quickly. Not surprising you missed it. It made headlines once, and then it was quickly silenced. Heard a gag order was put in place by the police. Now that I think about it, there were several leads that pointed to the Castleton's wife being murdered, but the police never followed up on any of it. Just sat around with their paws in their ass.
Rao gives me a playful smirk and then shrugs.
I'm certain it was the same police that helped the Grand Marine hide the recent attacks as well. Terrible, sure, but you get used to it when living here.
This is terrible. Why isn't anyone doing anything about it?
What are they gonna do? Call the police?
He chuckles at his own question. I guess not.
Do you live around these parts?
Do you live around these parts or something? Ralph shifts his gaze away from me and looks out the window behind us.
Used to, but I moved to the city next over until around the time shit got bad. As for what happened here, I don't give a fuck.
There's a bitter undertone to his words as he speaks. His attention snaps back to me as his unblinking gaze locks onto mine with an intense, unsettling focus. Alright, everyone, I'm going to end the part here, so I'll see you guys around.